Hello dear students, welcome back to EduHunt video lecture series. We have already finished discussion on animal kingdom. While discussing with animal kingdom, we have seen so many phyla, 11 major phyla which have been characterized and categorized into vertebrate and invertebrate phyla. 10 major phyla and they are of invertebrate type and one major phylum of consisting of vertebrate animals. In that vertebrate animals, craniates like mammals have discussed. That's over, and in this session we will discuss about plant kingdom. While discussing during animal kingdom, we have started with a lower primitive organisms, that is protozoa, which are unicellular organisms, and we have followed an evolutionary trend, that is from simple to complex systems. In protozoa, we have seen subcellular or protoplasmic level of organization. Only a single cell indicates, and single cell does all the functions like excretory, respiratory, digestive, that is nutrition, reproduction, and all the functions, all the metabolic activities are carried by a single cell. Single cell itself is an individual, where we have seen subcellular organization. And from that we have just moved to the parazoa, protozoa to the metazoa. Under metazoa, parazoa have a little bit we can say that a little bit complex organization when we compare to protozoa. Cellular organization is seen, like choanocytes are there. Like that, different types of amoebocytes are there, different kinds of cells like spicules. Like that we have seen in Porifera kingdom. Porifera major phylum. And we have seen vascular system like water vasculars, we can say. And coelom is absent, body cavity is absent. And moving towards a little bit complexity, that is Cnidaria, and then Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Nematihelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, and Mollusca, and Echinodermata. Up to this, we have seen gradual increase in the complexity in each and every system, like digestive system, circulatory system, nervous system, like that, even respiratory system. We have seen the evolutionary trend and we have followed the evolutionary trend, and we have also discussed general characteristic features of each and every phylum, and also unique features, the important features, and only unique to that particular phylum were also discussed in detail. And then we have also seen so many videos, so many images, so many examples. And in this session, we are going to learn about plant kingdom. Yes, what are plants? We know plants, and we can say that plants are green in color. They are autotrophs. They perform photosynthesis. They can prepare their own food material. If we ask a very small kid what is a plant? If we ask a question like what is a plant, they answer, the kid will answer that it's green in color, it has leaves, it has stem, it has roots. Like that, the kid will describe a plant. Plant is green in color, and entirely that kid says it is green in color. Green plants will be green in color. So we should say that green, autotrophic, photosynthetic organisms are plants. Yes, that kingdom we are going to discuss about. In as kingdom, we name it as a plantae and subkingdom. The plantae subkingdom is divided and categorized into cryptogamy and phanerogamy, whether they give flowers sexual structures, flowers or not, or they form seeds or not. Based on this category, based on this criterion, we have categorized the plant kingdom into two subkingdoms, cryptogamy and phanerogamy, and divisions. Again, each is again divided into divisions, thallophyta, bryophyta and pteridophyta. And subdivision, thallophyta division is again categorized into subdivisions, algae and fungi. We will discuss in detail about these plants. Let's see the plant kingdom, which includes, as I said, autotrophic, eukaryotic, that is true nucleus is there, and photosynthetic and non-motile organisms. Non-motile means they cannot move from one place to another. They can't go from here and there. They have well-defined cellulosic cell wall. It makes them special, and it separates the other organisms. And plastids are nothing but chloroplasts, a type of plastids are chloroplasts. Chloro means green. Plastids with green color pigment, chlorophyll, are plastids, chloroplasts. And plastids are again of different types like chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. And these plastids are seen, and the cells have a definite cell wall made up of cellulose. Cellulose, a polysaccharide that surrounds the cell and forms a tough coat around the cell. The cell with cell wall is seen in plants, which is a characteristic feature of plant. In addition to photosynthesis, they have cellulosic cell walls, and photosynthesis is possible only because they have a special kind of cell organelle is known as plastids. Plant kingdom includes 5 major plant groups: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. These are the 5 major plant groups: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. This classification was proposed by R.H. Whittaker in 1969. According to him, the plant kingdom is divided into 5 major groups: algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Among these 5 major groups, the first 3 major groups, that is algae, pteridophyta, bryophyta and pteridophyta, they do not produce seeds. and only gymnosperms and angiosperms. Sperma means seed, sperms. Gymnosperms and angiosperms are the two major groups which involve in production of seeds. In earlier classification of plant kingdom, and it includes, that was included fungi. Fungi included under plant kingdom, and even the members of Protista and Monera have also been included under the kingdom Plantae. According to Whittaker, the plant kingdom has only 5 major groups, but the earlier classifications included, they had even fungi, Protista, and even Monera. Monera are the prokaryotic unicellular organisms like bacteria, cyanobacteria. They were included in even in plant kingdom. This is the flowchart of the kingdom Plantae. As I said just now, I said 2 different types of classifications. One is Whittaker's and the earlier than Whittaker. According to Whittaker's classification, plant kingdom is divided into 5 major groups. ఈ 5 మేజర్ గ్రూప్స్ ఏంటంటే algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. This was given by R.H. Whittaker in the year 1969. But in the earlier classification, even fungi, Monera, Protista, that was also given by Whittaker. According to Whittaker, the entire living organisms were classified into 5 kingdoms. 5 kingdom classification proposed by Whittaker. It says that all the living organisms categorized into 5 kingdoms. The first kingdom is Monera, in which unicellular prokaryotic organisms like bacteria, cyanobacteria were included. And in the second kingdom, in which the unicellular eukaryotic organisms like protozoa were included. And in the third kingdom, that is Plantae, in which the photosynthetic organisms were included like algae. And the fourth kingdom, even not only the algae, even angiosperms, bryophytes and all the plants, green plants, whichever they perform photosynthesis and have cellulosic cell walls, all of them are eukaryote. That is especially the autotrophic mode of nutrition. ఏ ప్లాంట్స్, ఏ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అయితే ఆ ఫుడ్ని ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకోగలుగుతాయో వాటిని థర్డ్ కింగ్డమ్లో పెట్టేశారు, థర్డ్ కింగ్డమ్లో ఉంచారు. విట్టేకరే చేశారు క్లాసిఫికేషన్. మనం ఇప్పుడు విట్టేకర్ చేసిన 2 క్లాసిఫికేషన్స్ చెప్పుకుంటున్నాం. ప్లాంట్ కింగ్డమ్ని 5 గ్రూప్స్గా విడదీసింది విట్టేకరే. అలాగే ఎంటైర్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ని కూడా 5 కింగ్డమ్స్గా విడదీసింది విట్టేకరే. ఈయన ఏం చేశారంటే ఫస్ట్ కింగ్డమ్ని మొనీరా అని పెట్టారు. ఇప్పటి వరకు నేను చెప్పింది అదే, మొనీరా పెట్టారు. మొనీరాలో యూనిసెల్యులర్ ప్రోకారియోటిక్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ని ఉంచారు, అంటే బ్యాక్టీరియాని, సైనోబ్యాక్టీరియాని పెట్టారు. సెకండ్ కింగ్డమ్లో ప్రోటిస్టా అని పెట్టారు. ప్రోటిస్టాలో ఏమున్నాయి? యూనిసెల్యులర్ యూకారియోటిక్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ని ఉంచారు. థర్డ్ కింగ్డమ్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనము డిస్కస్ చేసుకోబోతున్న ప్లాంట్ కింగ్డమ్. ప్లాంట్స్ అనగానే చిన్న పిల్లలైనా చెప్తారు గ్రీన్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అని, గ్రీన్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అని చెప్తారు. ఈ గ్రీన్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ప్లాంట్స్ they perform photosynthesis, they have autotrophic mode of nutrition. వాటిని ప్లాంట్ కింగ్డమ్ అన్నారు. తర్వాత ఫంగై అని చెప్పారు, దీనిలో సాప్రోఫిటిక్ మోడ్ ఆఫ్ న్యూట్రిషన్ ఉంటుంది. దీస్ ఆర్ హెటరోట్రోప్స్ అని చెప్తాము. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైమ్ సాప్రోఫిటిక్ మోడ్ ఆఫ్ న్యూట్రిషన్ is the typical nutrition for that kingdom. And fifth and large final kingdom is the last kingdom is the animal kingdom, in which Protozoa to mammals were included. And I'm sorry, Protozoa is included in Protista, and from Porifera to mammals were included. Anyway, the second only plant kingdom classification proposed by Whittaker shows that only 5 major groups were there in plant kingdom. One is the algae, the lower primitive plants. Second is the bryophyta. Third is the pteridophyta. Fourth is the gymnosperms. Fifth is the angiosperms. These are the 5 major groups according to Whittaker. Let us see types of classifications. There are various types of classifications in angiospermic plants. Angiosperms, we have seen in the previous slide that cryptogame and phanerogame are there. Cryptogame are the cryptogams are non-flowering. Non-flowering plants and no seeds. No seeds are produced in cryptogams. Phanerogams are flowering. Flowering plants, seed-bearing plants. Flowering and seed-bearing plants. Again, phanerogams are classified into, phanerogams are also called as spermatophyta. As I said, phyton is plant, sperma means seed, seed-bearing plants, seed-producing plants are spermatophytes or phanerogams. These phanerogams or spermatophytes are classified into gymnospermae and angiospermae. Gymnosperms are the plants which produce seeds which are exposed out. They are not enclosed in a fruit. They do not produce fruit. That is why usually we see seeds are enclosed in fruit. That is the common case. We usually eat a fruit and they enclose, the seeds are enclosed by the fruits. That is, seeds are present inside the fruits. They are enclosed, angiosperms. And second, that is the first category, gymnosperms, where gymno means naked. Naked. Seeds are visible outside. In the angiosperm, seeds are not visible out. They are not visible because they are enclosed in the fruit. Even though you can say that in cashew nut, the fruit is visible, the seed is visible outside. మీరు అనుకోవచ్చు, మేడం మీరు క్యాష్యూ చూపిస్తాము. ఎస్, ఇలా ఉంటుందా? ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఇలా ఉంటుంది కదా. క్యాష్యూ నట్ మీరు చెప్పచ్చు, క్యాష్యూ నట్లో ఫ్రూట్ బయటకే ఉంటుంది కదా మేడం, it is visible, then why it is kept in angiosperms? ఇది seed కాదు, this is a true fruit. It is nut type of fruit, dry గా ఉంటుంది. The fruit cover, pericarp is dry, hard. This is false fruit. True fruit ante it develops from ovary. False fruit develops from other parts of the flower other than ovary. Other parts like calyx, corolla, like that. Even this is peduncle. ఫ్లవర్ కుండే ఆ స్టాక్ అంటాం కదా, ఆ స్టాక్ నుంచి బల్జ్ అయ్యి ఫ్రూట్ లాగా కనిపిస్తుంది క్యాష్యూలో. సో అందుకు దాన్ని మనం నట్ బయటికి కనిపిస్తుంది ఫ్రూటే, ఇట్స్ నాట్ అ సీడ్, ఇట్ ఎన్క్లోజెస్ సీడ్. సో అందుకు మనం ఏం చెప్తామంటే సీడ్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ విజిబుల్ అవుట్, దే ఆర్ ఎన్క్లోజ్డ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్రూట్. సో యాంజియోస్పర్మ్స్, ఇప్పుడు మనం యాంజియోస్పర్మ్ క్లాసిఫికేషన్ చూస్తున్నాం. యాంజియోస్పర్మ్స్ని క్లాసిఫై చేయాలంటే there are so many systems. The first system is artificial system of classification. Artificial system means the system in which the plants are classified based on few visible morphological features or characters. All the taxonomists, right from Aristotle to Linnaeus, classified organisms on the basis of external morphological features, external observations like how the stem looks, how the leaves look, how the flowers look, like that. Only by observing the few external features, the plants are classified in this system, artificial system of classification. Like floral parts, like numerous number of stamens, how many stamens are there, how they look, and how many petals are there, how many what we call the sepals are there, like that, based on floral features, based on vegetative characters. They have classified the plants based on root modification, based on leaf venation, and all these things. By considering the external visible morphological features, they have classified the plants into various classes. And in this system, no weightage is given to natural and phylogenetic relationships. What are phylogenetic relationships? That is evolutionary relationships. Evolution, they did not consider the evolution, that is which one is primitive, which one is advanced, which one is latest, which one is modern, which one is ancient, like that. They haven't considered the features of plants. In this system, no weightage is given to the natural even the phylogenetic relationships among the plants, and such system is exclusively based on few superficial similarities of the plants. And this is an arbitrary system of classification, an artificial system of classification. Linnaeus also used such system of classification, and he classified the plants based on few floral characteristics. This system may also be based on habit and habitats. What is meant by habit and what is a habitat? Habit is a plant, how does it look? That is, whether it is a herb, a small plant, or whether it is a climber, whether it is a creeper, whether it is a big tree, that shows, that is known as habit. Habit of plant. Whether it is a herb, shrub, tree, climber, creeper, like that. The nature of the plant. The second thing is habitat. What is habitat? Habit is different and habitat is different. Habitat is the place where the plant is present. If it is available in marshy areas like moist soil, moist areas, then it is called a hydrophyte. Hydrophytes are the plants where they live in uh, either in water, aquatic premises, or in moist environments. They are called hydrophytes. And xerophytes, we know that desert plants like cacti are present. They show some modifications. They have evolved, they have adapted to live in such conditions, such dry conditions. Even water is deficient, even though water is not present, even though water is very, very scanty, they survive under those conditions by showing some modifications. Like the leaves are not seen, spines are seen, the leaves are modified into spines. They do not possess external stomata. The stomata are being hidden, that they are called sunken stomata. They have a thick cuticle to prevent the loss of water. If the water loss is quite common, they can't survive. The metabolic activities may be hampered. For that reason, they adapt. They show some adaptations and they live under such dry conditions, dry environments. And the mesophytes, like that shows the habitat, means the place where the plant is, where the plant lives. That is habitat. Like we live in our house, that is habitat. Like that, the plant lives in such environment that is suitable for its growth and their regular functions. Like whether it is a desert, whether it is a ocean, whether it is an ocean, whether it is an aquatic area, whether it is a marshy area, like that, whether it is a normal area. Like mesophytes live in average, moderate temperature rainfall conditions. Some plants prefer high rainfall and some plants prefer low rainfall, and some plants prefer high sunlight, and some plants live better under low sunlight, like that. Like example, indoor plants. So that is first type of classification, that is artificial system of classification, where the plants are classified based on few external morphological characters, like floral characters. How many stamens are there? How many petals are there? How they are arranged, like that, based on these characters. Even the leaves, even the roots, by observing the external features, the plants categorized, and classification is based on the observed external morphological characters. So that is the artificial system of classification. In this session, we have gained knowledge on how the angiosperms classified and what criteria helpful for them in classifying the plants, especially the angiosperms. It is the ancient system. It is the primitive system of classification, that is artificial system of classification. In the next session, we will discuss another, that is natural system of classification in detail. Goodbye.